Hey Hofstra fans, welcome inside the WB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Tom Birdie, now joined by the head coach of the Hofstra Pride men's lacrosse team, Seth Tierney. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Now, Coach, this past weekend, the top 20 matchup for your team had a battle with number 7 Notre Dame over at Sherwood Stadium. You wound up dropping a tough one, 6-5 in overtime. Just give me some of your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, let's start out by saying I'm awfully proud of my guys. I mean, I don't say that a whole lot after a loss because of the competitors that we are. But I thought that we showed a lot of resilience in the second half. We had an opportunity to win the game before overtime, and it slipped through our fingers, and that's something that I got to address. And, as a staff and as the head coach, and we need to make better decisions down the stretch. But when you're playing against, a quality opponent that's the #1 defense in the country, you got to stick with your game plan. We practiced all week on how this thing was going to play out, and it was almost to a T. And we just needed to finish it off at the end, and we just couldn't hold on. We did a lot of things right, and I think we look a little bit different than we did in the beginning versus Sacred Heart. I think you're seeing a little bit of a different team. I think we're coming around, but we still have a long way to go, which is promising, but we got to keep making strides.
Now, you mentioned your team had a lead. Notre Dame wound up getting 2 goals in the final minute and 2 seconds, wound up tying the game, then taking the lead before your team had a dramatic comeback. You chalk some of that up to maybe some of the inexperience that you had this year?
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, I thought that we left a couple goals on the table in the first half that we could have had. We missed a couple shots. The first midfield production, they got shots. I don't think all of them were great, but we were 1 for 17 shooting on the first midfield. That's not a great stat right there. And we need, again, it's a fine line. You want to get shots from those guys. We just got to put them away. And if we just get 1 or 2 throughout the course of the first 60 minutes, then maybe it doesn't go to overtime. So, again, some of those decisions may not have to happen if we do our job earlier on in the game, and we got to do a better job of that.
Now, scoring-wise, your team was held about 23 minutes without a goal between the end of the first quarter through the third quarter. Then that second half, you really kind of opened it up. You got 4 of your 5 goals in that second half. What changed for your team?
Halftime was spirited. We tried to inspire them. As I told someone else, I'm not going to tell you I didn't raise my voice, but it was just to really inspire these guys to play a little bit harder. It was there for the taking. I mean, there's no getting around it. I think that the people that were there saw that. We just needed playing hard. I think we got that. Playing smart is something that's a work in progress right now, and we need to continue to work on that. But it's certainly it's a great team. It's a guys that want to learn. We're going to get back in the film room today. We're going to get back to practice today, and we're going to start to fix Hofstra in the beginning of the week. And our approach is the same. I think one of the things, Sundays are a tough day because you kind of go back and forth on what you want to do. Do you change everything? Do you change some things? Do you leave everything the same, knowing that you were 1 for 17 with the first midfield? We had a couple of great looks. We did a better job in the second half. We won the ground ball war. What are we trying to change everything? So you almost feel a little bit weird getting off a phone call with one of your assistant coaches because you go full circle with them and you go, all right, let's change this. And then 3 seconds later, probably should we stay there. So again, it's kind of parallels parenthood. It's a little bit of the world of second guessing at times, but we're getting closer. And that first midfield is going to come around for us. And Lance stepped up a little bit, and we need some more from the attack. Defensively, I was proud of those guys. The goals that we gave up, I wasn't proud of those. I thought we probably could have held, Notre Dame to probably 3 for the game. The first one I thought Andrew could have had. There was a ground ball mishap, and we can't have that. And they get a layup out of it, and then a little miscommunication on some other ones. So we'll get better.
Now, at the end of the game, of course, your team wound up scoring under 5 seconds to go after a quick face-off with, I believe it was like 11.5 seconds to go. John Antonius won the face-off, threw it into the box. Adrian Sortichetti found Tornborn. Do you remember seeing a play like that in the closing seconds, and how proud were you of your guys that they put up that fight at the end?
Unfortunately, I do remember seeing a play like that happen, and the fortunate turnout was, we had scored a goal. I was, at Hopkins at the time, and it was in a semifinal game where they scored with very little time to go, and to tie it up. We wanted to get the ball obviously into Adrian's hands. Adrian's out there for face-offs for a reason. He's a playmaker. And Tornborn did a great job cutting to the ball, and we thought we caught the goalie, not sure where he was going to catch the ball, so he kind of overplayed the pass, and then all of a sudden when he adjusted back, the ball was already behind him. Great play by 2 guys on the same page. John Antonius throwing it out there and winning that face-off. We got to do a better job of winning face-offs in the fourth quarter because I think that we only were 1 for 5, and that was the one that we had won, and we got to do a better job in the fourth quarter of having the ball, and that starts with the face-off. And then, we need to do a better job of just getting what we want in overtime. There's 2 overtime games where we got really people where we want. We can't move that net, and it's coming soon.
How impressed were you with Lance Yapora, just a sophomore, but still, when your team needed some key goals in that third quarter, he kind of took it upon himself to go get them for you?
Yeah, Lance did a great job. He really did. I thought he probably should have had 5. That's the father in you. That's the coach in me. Yeah, I'm very happy for you. You got 3, but I need you to get 4 or 5 in a 1-goal game. And he did a great job. What Notre Dame brings to the table is they don't play picks like other people. They just switch on everything. So, for some of those people, we started to put a short stick back there. They would switch. Now we got a short stick on one of our better dodgers behind the goal. And I think one of them, he was coming around the goal, and he had beaten actually 2 long sticks. And the other times, there was a little bit of miscommunication. He came around with some short sticks, and he put the ball, past Kemp, which I'm awfully proud of. Lance has turned it into a nice play.
Now, taking a look ahead towards this weekend, you have a matchup against Delaware. First conference game of the season, you have Delaware at home. They beat you twice last year, once in the regular season, once in the CAA tournament at Hofstra. What did you see from their team last year that gave your team some trouble? Yeah,
they just, they played with a lot of heart. They play a little bit of a loose type way. They try and throw those passes, and whether they're low percentage passes or not, they connect on them, and a lot of times they connect on them versus Hofstra because it's such a rivalry game. We have our kind of mission statement of how we want to play, and we're going to continue to grow with that. We need a great effort from John at the X again, and we need to make sure that we play smart. I think we're moving. Our record doesn't show it, but we're moving into a better team, and now with conference play coming up, all the marbles are on the table now.
Now, what kind of an adjustment will it be for your team to go from playing a very possession-based game against Notre Dame to a team in Delaware who really likes to push the transition?
Yeah, listen, we're going to play whatever style is out there. Hopefully we can impose playing on the way we want, but that's a tough way to do that. I've watched Delaware play on film a couple times this year, and they like to get up and out. We need to prevent that. We need to take transition off of their transition. So if the ball goes down to the ground, we're not going to be afraid to push the ball. We're not one of those things that we're just totally cutting transition out of our game, but we just want to play a smarter brand of lacrosse.
And we joked about it earlier in the season, but your team stealing J.P. Brazel from the staff over at Delaware last year, and of course his defense, which gave you some trouble last year. What's it going to be like to have him on your side now?
Yeah.
Matchup?
Yeah, it's great to have J.P. He's doing a wonderful job. Him and Kevin Unterstein doing a wonderful job. If you have 6 goals to the number 7 team in the country, you got to win that game. Offensively, we got to do a better job of that, and it's a work in progress. We got to finish some of those shots, but having JP here, we had met already this morning on Delaware. I don't want him to feel any extra pressure or anything along those lines. It's just the next game. He obviously knows the Delaware personnel very well. He knows the thinking of their staff, and again, maybe they throw something new at us. I don't know, and they could be meeting as well. What is JP saying to us, and how do we change it up? And that's the gamesmanship that's going to go on. But I want JP to continue to do what he's doing. And, I remember coming up here, and the pressure when you come from one school to another is really irrelevant. You're coaching this team, and we're all got a lot of pride here coaching at Hofstra.
And finally, Coach, what are going to be some keys to getting conference season started out on the right foot and get a win over Delaware here at Seward?
I think we got to just have better possessions offensively, and we have to make them earn their goals defensively. When we're playing defense, after looking at the film a couple of times so far, we're just coming up empty on a quality possession where we get a quality shot or a shot that we really like. We're getting some shots, but I'm not sure that the quality that we're looking for, and we don't want to end the possession on a turnover. If we end the possession on a cutter or a great save or a rebound and they happen to pick it up, I'm okay with that. Those are effort type situations. I just don't want to end it on a kind of like a senseless turnover. We've got to have that ball.
All right, Seth Tierney, head coach of the Hofstra men's lacrosse team. Thanks for joining us inside the W. Mason Coach Report on GoHofstra.com.
Thanks, Tom.